Denmark with NATO nations conducts drills in Greenland despite tensions with Trump. Now, America's absence raised eyebrows as US President Trump has repeatedly insisted the US should control Greenland. Now, Denmark is leading a military exercise with hundreds of troops from several European NATO members in Greenland, a maneuver that coincides with months of tensions over the Trump administration's desire for US jurisdiction over the vast Arctic territory. Now, NATO allies are conducting Arctic Light 2025 military exercise in Greenland. Now, this exercise involves more than 550 service members from Denmark and NATO allies like France, Germany, Sweden and Norway, according to the Danish military. Now, the stated aim of the exercise is to strengthen the operational readiness of the Danish armed forces and Greenland, a strategically located island that is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. However, the chief of Denmark's Joint Arctic Command has expressed wariness towards Russia as a regional superpower in the far north.
Russia is a regional superpower in the Arctic. And I think we can see that in the Bering Strait between Alaska and Russia, that they conduct operations that we have never seen before.
However, this drill is less a warning to Russia, but perhaps more to the US. Trump has repeatedly said that he seeks US jurisdiction over Greenland, and he hasn't ruled out military force to take control of the mineral-rich territory. However, Denmark and Greenland have said that the island is not for sale and condemned reports of the US gathering intelligence there. Last month, Denmark's foreign minister summoned the top US diplomat in Copenhagen for talks after the main national broadcaster reported that at least 3 people with connections to Trump had been carrying out covert influence operations in Greenland. Now, Denmark is also moving to strengthen its military presence around Greenland and in the wider North Atlantic. In late January, the government announced a roughly 14.6 billion kroner, which is around $2.3 billion, agreement with parties, including the governments of Greenland and Faroe Islands, to improve capabilities for surveillance and maintaining sovereignty in the region. Now, Denmark's military spending spree was announced in January. This year, shortly after US President Donald Trump began expressing renewed interest in controlling Greenland, insisting last December ahead of taking office that the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. In defiance, Denmark recently confirmed to CNN its biggest ever arms purchase, agreeing to spend more than $9 billion on air defense systems from European manufacturers instead of American Patriot missile batteries. However, the Danish military did not mention current tensions with Washington in a statement about the exercises, and the chief of Denmark's Joint Arctic Command pointed to good relations with the American military. Now, in the current Arctic Light exercise, which started on September 9th, Denmark is employing the frigate, 2 helicopters, 2 F-16s, and personnel from all 3 branches of the armed force, including special forces. France is sending a naval ship, a tanker aircraft, and mountain infantry equipped with drones.